Hi, so thank you very much for being very patient, okay? So right now what I'm going to do is I'll share my screen and we can begin. Otherwise, thank you very much for being patient. Um, let's quickly cruise through. You let me know when you can see the screen. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right. So what I've opened here is actually financial accounting. Okay, that's the one that we were actually talking about well, that's the one that we were actually talking about when we started. Okay, but our main consideration will actually be management accounting. We'll use management accounting as an example. Okay, after we talk about the strategies. After we talk about the strategies, then we get to use management accounting as an example. Okay, all right. Madam Precious, how are you? Hello.
Hello,
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay, and how are you?
I am very fine, madam. Which subject are you writing in March or is it June?
What is financial accounting, business
Oh,
statistics, and business communication?
yeah. Okay, is that DA or CA?
CA.
Okay, all right, perfect. Okay, so what we're going to do is we'll cruise through. We'll mainly concentrate in management accounting because our colleagues are actually doing management accounting, but we'll pass through financial accounting so that we familiarize ourselves with the subject. So, in case you'd like to watch some videos about financial accounting, you can find my videos on YouTube where I solve some questions pertaining to financial accounting. Okay, I guess we can begin. All right. Like I mentioned before, the power actually disturbed us. What I mentioned before the power disturbed us is that for you to actually clear a ZICA past paper, for you to actually clear a ZICA past paper, you need three things. Okay, you need three things. That's it doesn't matter if it's management accounting, if it's financial accounting, if it's cost accounting, if it's financial reporting or taxation. It doesn't really matter the subject. You just need three good things, okay? And I've actually used this strategy a number of times, and trust me, it always works. For as long as you are committed to it and you follow it strictly, okay? It always works. What are these three things? Number one, you have to understand the material. You have to understand the terminologies. You have to understand the theory. Like, for instance, I'll give an example. Let's say, Madam Precious, the way you're writing financial accounting, the way you're writing financial accounting, let me go back to financial accounting. The way you're writing financial accounting, if they use a certain terminology, like for instance, if they say credit sales, you have to understand what credit sales is. Not just understanding what credit sales means, but also understanding how to treat it, how to account for it. What's the double entry of a credit sale? What I do personally myself is I give myself random transactions. I'll be like, okay, if I sell goods on credit, okay, if I sell goods on credit, how am I going to account for them? Which accounts will be affected? And how will their T accounts look like? Which ledgers will be affected? How will it affect my income statement and how is it going to affect my balance sheet? How is it going to affect my cash flow statement? And is that particular transaction going to affect my changes in equity? You see, I always ask myself these questions when I'm uh, when I'm it's either when I'm solving a paper, when I find a question, or basically just in real life when just just random questions I just ask myself. Okay, so basically, if you understand, like for instance, the same way we have credit sales here, if you understand what a credit sale is, how it's going to affect the income statement, okay, how it's going to be treated in the income statement according to financial reporting. We have standards according to the standards on revenue. That's International Financial Reporting Standard number 15, which talks about revenue. So how is it going to be recognized as revenue? What does accounts say? What do the standards say? Okay, so you have to understand it in detail. How is it going to affect my income statement? Is it going to affect my balance sheet? Let's say I compare this credit sale to expenses. How is the comparison going to be? You see, I ask myself all these questions. Why? Because I try my level best to understand the material, understand the terminology. That's in details, not just understanding. Like some people, what they do is that they master it. They'll be like, revenue is a credit. expenses are debits. Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. Expenses are debits and revenue is a credit. But let's say we compare those particular financial elements to other financial elements. How are they going to relate? Like for instance, if we are comparing revenue to expenses, is it going to subtract? Is it going to add? Is it going to less the revenue? Is it going to add on the revenue? You get my point. Hello, are you getting what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, so basically that's what I mean about understanding the material. So there are a lot of terminologies that you need to understand in financial accounting. Okay, in financial accounting, in management accounting, there are a lot of terminologies. Like for instance, and also just the phrasing, because financial accounting is mainly on the additional information. Also, just the phrasing. If they talk about a disposal, you need to understand that a disposal of a non-current asset actually affects that particular asset in this way, or it affects the assets accounts in this way. Okay, that's the first thing that I wanted to talk about. The second thing that you need to do for you to actually clear an accounting subject is practice. Hello, Mr. Michael. When you cleared financial accounting, what were you doing?
Yeah, as you have mentioned, to say we have to practice more.
Yeah, it requires
Prepare some past papers, and also maybe there are some theory questions you have also to understand some. As you have mentioned, some terminologies you have to understand them.
yes, not just mastering, but you have to make sure you understand. You get familiar with the details, or basically you get familiar with the language. We are accountants, so we have to be the same with our language. Okay, if someone mentions this, it has to be okay with you because you understand the language very, very well. And then also the second one is practicing. You have to practice as much as possible. You solve at least a number of past papers before you write an exam. The exam shouldn't be the first time you actually write an exam. You have to write other exams before. What do I mean by writing other exams before? Is solving a number of past papers. Let me tell you about a technique that I usually use. Let's say, I'll give you an example. Let's say a random question. Let's say we have question number 4 here. They want to prepare a corrected trial balance as at 31 December 2023, 12 marks. Okay, and then they want a statement of profit or loss for the year ended 31 December 2023 for internal use purposes. Okay, so for internal use purposes, meaning this is a management account. Am I right, Mr. Michael?
Hello?
I'm saying they want an income statement for internal use, like for internal purposes. That makes it a management account, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so this is a management account. Okay, so yeah, so what I would do myself, what I would do personally myself, if I were writing financial accounting either in March or in June, what I'm going to do is I'll solve this question after I understand the theory, understand the examples, whatever things I'm supposed to understand in the manuals, the revision kits, whatever I'm supposed to understand there. After I get familiar with everything, then I'll come here, I'll solve this question up to when I get the answer. And trust me, I know my first attempt, there's a high chance the answer will be wrong. That's the reason why I'm saying the first attempt shouldn't be in the exam. You get it, right? Because on the first attempt, there's a very high chance that the answer will be wrong. And I don't want to risk my answer being wrong in the exam. You get my point, right? That's the reason why
Yes.
I'm giving myself chances for my answer to be wrong when I'm practicing. What I've noticed about ZICA, first or basically studying, it's basically more like you're running a business. Okay, obviously you can't get a loan when you're just starting because there's a high chance your business might crash or you might get it wrong because the first attempt is mainly for learning. The first, the second, it might be for learning. Let's say maybe up to fifth, it's for learning. So we are basically giving ourselves a learning chance before the exam. We solve as many questions as possible before the exam so that in case we were to fail, we fail before we write the exam. And then we get to know what went wrong and then work on it and then we correct it. So what I'll do is I'll solve A and I'll solve B. And when I finish, I'll probably check the answer. I'm like, oh, I'm wrong. And then I'll see, oh, this is where I went wrong. And then I'll start again from the beginning. I'll solve the entire question again. This time around, I need to get it correct because I saw where my mistake was. I'll solve the entire question, and then when I finally get it correct, I'll go to another past paper that has got a very similar question, and I'll solve that question, hoping to get it correct. You get my point, Mr. Michael?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's a nice procedure. Really following it.
Yeah, I'll solve that entire question again from scratch, from the beginning, trying my level best um, to uh, to get the answer correct. Okay, so basically that's the strategy that I use. Okay, there's something I forgot to mention when I was talking about terminologies. Okay, I said number one is understanding the terminologies, understanding the material, understanding the theory, understanding the concepts. That's what I meant. That's number one. Okay, so on terminologies, we can also talk about another thing. Okay, there's what I call the foundation of accounts. Once you know the foundation of accounts, you actually be in a very good position. What do I mean by the foundation account of accounts? The foundation of accounts, I mean the same financial accounting. Number one, you have to understand the concepts, the theory, the terminologies, like I mentioned. Number two, you have to understand the beginning, where it starts from. Things like subsidiary books, ledgers, double entry, because we know that everything starts from there. The T accounts, everything starts from there. The trial balance, everything starts from there, and then afterwards it grows into the income statement. Because the income statement is basically a product of some dirty work. The dirty work is the double entry, the ledgers. You get it. Okay? And then the product will be the income statement. So if you understand the dirty work at the bottom, definitely understand the income statement. And let me mention this. If you understand the income statement, you have to understand what the income statement is, why we do the income statement. Okay, why do we do the income statement? The main reason why we do why we create or produce an income statement is basically so as to know the financial performance of a business. Okay, that's why it's also known as the statement of financial performance. So the basis of preparing an income statement is to know the financial performance. It gives us the profit that we have made. That it can be other comprehensive income, the total comprehensive income. It can be net profit, profit after tax, profit before tax. Those are just showing us the performance, the way our business performed. It's not really showing us where we are, but it's showing us what we made. Okay? All right. So I know. If you are looking at financial accounting, you probably say the income statement and the balance sheet are not really introductions. I would say they're introductions because if we relate the income statement to management accounting, you will find that in some topics, like for instance, if we talk about marginal absorption costing methods, or we plan income statement using absorption costing method, it's just the same thing, but it will just be a little bit advanced. Like you'll probably learn a few concepts because the way it is that if you master an income statement and then you go to management accounts, you relate the two, you just get the new information and learn it. But if you do not master an income statement from this stage, when you go to management accounts, you have to learn the entire thing over and over again. Like everything will just be confusing. Okay? Because in management accounts, by management accounts, it's just the same. Management accounts and financial accounting are similar. The only difference is that the only difference is it might be the standards that they follow. Financial accounting follows standards, management accounting does not. It's at discretion of management because the accounts are particularly for management. Financial accounting is set. We know it's changes in equity, cash flows, the financial position is the balance sheet, the income statement as well. But when we go to our management accounting, because it's for management, we give management what they want. Obviously, the management will want the income statement, they want the balance sheet, they want the cash flow because the cash flow is very important. They might want a budget as well, or they might want non-financial information. Like for instance, if the employees are motivated, if let's say maybe your comments on the surroundings, such things. Okay? They might want such things, although we all know that those such things are not really financial information. It's not really financial information. It's that information that is required by management. So financial accounting, I see financial accounting as the basis. I see the entire financial accounting as an introduction to actual accounting. So I see financial accounting as a foundation that must be known. So when, let's say when we are doing financial accounting, firstly, let me ask you this question, Mr. Michael.
Sir.
Yeah. When you study management accounting, is there anything, absolutely anything, that actually connects it or links it back to financial accounting?
Yeah. In fact, yeah, there is.
Okay, what's that?
As I mentioned, when you're doing absorption and the marginal costing, you relate to financial. Also, you are doing what's that? What's the topic is that? FIFO and the
Inventories.
yes, inventories. Well, inventories there, and you also on that is costing also because management accounting consists of costing and
Yeah,
management accounting. Yes.
yeah.
So, in fact, as you have just mentioned, say financial accounting, the basics for everything, and that's true. Because financial, if you have understood everything, it will be easy for you to understand some terminology, like you are doing management,
It's practically
such as
yes.
that subject.
Yeah. So financial accounting, okay, let me just say level one is important because, like you said, management accounting comprises a lot of topics in cost accounting. It's just a slight upgrade, and some topics are exactly the same as they were in cost accounting.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you clear cost accounting, it will be very easy to clear management accounting because you only need to learn a few things. So if you know financial accounting very well, you know cost accounting very well, then you are super ready for management accounting because it will just be like a walk. You're just taking a little walk and then you reach your destination, you clear it very, very well.
Yes.
Okay. So, like I said, the most important things in financial accounting, the statements. Okay, financial accounting talks about financial statements. So here we are looking at financial statements. Anything related to financial statements, that's what you find in here. Okay, they will ask you to prepare a financial statement. Obviously, correction of errors. It's also there, omission and correction of errors, and then uh, anything that's related to a financial statement you find here, like for instance, disposals, they'll definitely affect our balance sheet under the non-current assets. Okay, if we dispose of something, it will give us money. So basically, it will affect our current asset in that our cash will increase, but it will affect our non-current assets in that our non-current assets will reduce. So I'll give an example. Let's say we have total assets of 20,000 kwacha. Okay, this is just a random example. We have total assets of 20,000 kwacha. Okay, and then we decide to dispose of assets worth 5,000 kwacha. But when disposing these particular assets, we sold them at 6,000 kwacha instead of the 5,000 kwacha. Hello, are you getting me? So we have total non-current assets of 20,000. We decide to sell 5,000 worth of non-current assets at 6,000. Obviously, we have a 1,000 profit, which will be other income on our income statement, right? Okay, so we have other income
Yes.
on our income statement. That's the profit we've gotten from the sale of a non-current asset. Okay, but our non-current assets will be credited because they will reduce. So our non-current asset account will be credited by 5,000 kwacha, meaning the total value of our non-current asset will reduce from 20,000 kwacha to 15,000 kwacha. Not to 14,000 kwacha, by the way, to 15,000 kwacha, because the carrying amount of the assets that we disposed of was 5,000, not really 6,000. Okay, but we also have another current asset that will be affected. That's the cash account. Those people paid us, so our cash account will be debited by 6,000 kwacha. So our cash will increase by 6,000 kwacha. So our cash will increase by 6,000 kwacha. Our non-current assets will reduce by 5,000 kwacha. So basically, our total assets will have a gain of 1,000 kwacha. That's if we add the non-current assets and the current assets. Okay, that's just a random example. Okay, And also, when I was talking about theories and the foundation, the same way I've just made up that transaction. The same way I've made up that transaction, and I've also talked about the accounts that will be affected and how they will be affected, and whatever financial element is going to affect. That's what you need to know as well. It has to be on the back of your head, like you have to be familiar with it, and you have to comfortably speak it. It has to be a part of you. Okay? I know when I say it has to be a part of you, sometimes it sounds as though it's too much. Mr. Michael, do you think it's too much when I say it has to be a part of you?
No, no.
It's not really too much, okay? It has to be a part of you. So let's say before I talk about the third point, I've talked about the theory and the practice aspect. Now let me go to the last point, okay? Let me go to
Yes.
the last point. So the last point, I will relate it to management accounting. Okay, the same exact subject that you're writing.
Okay.
Not advanced. Let's see. I want the normal. Okay, yeah, CA 2.2. I'll relate it to management accounting, the same exact subject that you're writing. Okay, so explain the role of management accounting in meeting the needs of stakeholders, and particularly about sustainability. Let's see what they want here. They say explain three advantages of using absorption costing, budgeted full production cost per unit, calculate selling price. Okay, like you mentioned, management accounting is a replica of cost accounting. Okay, management accounting is a replica of cost accounting. So management accounting, cost accounting, they're practically the same. It's just that management accounting will just be slightly advanced. Okay, it will just be slightly advanced. Okay, so what I would say, about yeah, what I would say about management accounting. What I would say about management accounting and financial reporting, they're actually the same, they actually relate, but we use the same concepts. We use the concept of understanding the theory, understanding the material. Like, firstly, for you to actually calculate something using absorption costing, you have to understand what absorption costing is. It's important how relevant it is and why managers actually prefer using it compared to marginal costing. Like, for instance, there's a question here that says, explain three disadvantages of using absorption costing. Me, immediately they just talk about the disadvantage of using absorption costing. I'll compare it to activity-based costing, and I'll say activity-based costing is better. Why? Because it absorbs per activity. But absorption costing absorbs fixed overheads on a fixed, like on a total. You see? So that makes it not being accurate. So that's basically just one disadvantage. Why am I able to figure out the disadvantage of using absorption costing? It's because I understand the material, you understand the theory. You get it, Mr. Michael?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So you see the advantage of understanding the theory as well.
Sorry?
You see the advantage of understanding the theory as well.
Yeah, yes, yes.
Yeah, so because I understand the theory, it will be very easy for me to actually solve this question. Like here, they want me to explain three disadvantages of using my absorption costing. I can easily do that because I understand the material, I understand the concepts, I understand the theory, I understand the terminologies that are in management accounting. I've done financial accounting, I've done cost accounting. So when I come to management accounting, I don't come with nothing. I have my opening balances, which are financial accounting and cost accounting. You get it? Basically, like you come half ready for it. Like when you start writing management accounting or when you start studying management accounting, you come half baked already for it. You don't start from zero. You start from maybe 50%, and you just have to get the remaining 50 for you to actually get 100. Okay? All right. So the last thing that I want us to talk about, that I've noticed that actually ensure that actually makes people not clear accounting. The last thing that I want to talk about, and the main reason why I made it last, I'll actually mention. But the last thing is interest. Have interest in what you do. The main reason why you started doing accounting is because you want to be an accountant. So every time you are solving for a financial statement, they want you to make some financial statement, or they want you to do some financial accounting, just think about your objective. What were you thinking when you are registering for it? It's because you have a goal to achieve. Okay? And that goal will give you interest in this. Okay? So this will just be more like a little obstacle for you to achieve your massive goal. You get my point, Mr. Michael? So when you
Yes, sir. Yes.
yes, when you have interest in this, then 1 and 2 will be very easy to do. When you are interested in management accounting, interested in financial accounting, and you have a lot of interest for it, and also some other accounting subjects, you clearing it won't be a problem, because the first thing, understanding it will not be a problem. The second thing, you practice it because it will be more like a hobby. You get it? It will be something that you love doing. And when it's something that you love doing, then it will be your superpower. Trust me. Then you not clearing it will be impossible. It will be something that will never happen. Otherwise, if you gain interest in the subject that you are writing or that you are studying, you don't just study it for the exam, but you study it because you want to know. Because people just master it. You know that ZICA, what people say, they like ZICA temu Norway. You know that saying, huh?
Yes, I know it.
Yeah. And then some people are like, oh no, Tifuna 50%, right?
Yeah.
So basically, they are studying for the exam. That's the main reason why in the industry we have accountants who don't know how to do some things, because they just wanted a 50%. They don't know that the main reason why they are writing that subject is for them to actually familiarize themselves with the industry, so that even if they get into practice, they won't be learning again. But instead, they'll come in the industry with knowledge already. Because the main reason why when they're employing someone, they ask if they have a diploma is because the diploma will basically show that, oh, this person knows all these things because they passed them. But what if I was just doing it for the exam and I was just mastering a few concepts and I just got a 50%? Meaning I'll be putting someone's company into jeopardy, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, we all need to love what we do. Okay? We all need to love what we do. And when we do that, it will be easy to master these things. I always give an example of cooking. Okay, I always give an example of cookies. There are so many people who know how to cook. Not everything, though. I don't know how to cook some things. But Ishima, yeah, at least I know. Yeah, there are so many people who know how to cook Ishima. Why can they cook Ishima? It's because they've been doing it for some time. Sometimes when they are cooking, they don't even think. They just do it. You get it, Mr. Michael? Yeah, why? It's because they've practiced that until it has become a part of them.
Yeah.
They've practiced cooking for a long time. They do it every day. Now they don't even need to think for them to do what they're supposed to do, for them to cook. Like for instance, you can even reach at a point where when they say calculate the total profit for the year 2023, you won't even need to think. Instead, you just know, oh, I have to get this, and then I'll have whatever I need and it will be ready. You won't even struggle during the exam because it will be a part of you. So number one, understanding the theory, the terminologies, the concepts, and number two, practicing as much as possible. But this tool can only work if you have interest in what you do, which is my number three. So that's just the summary. Number one,
Okay.
theory, concepts. Number two, practice. Number three, having interest, loving what you do, love being an accountant since you're already an accountant.
Right.
Yeah. Otherwise, that's what I wanted to talk about. That's the summary that I wanted to talk about. Okay. Have you used any of this before?
Yeah, but for practice questions, it's normally maybe toward the exams. Yes, we normally do. I normally do that. Understand the concept. It's just a mandatory. You just have to understand the concept, how accounts works, and some terminologies and the like.
Yes. Yes.
As loving it, it's just to be, if you choose a course, you have to love it because it's more like a passion to you.
Yeah. Some people just do it for the money that they'll get in the future and do it for the 50% and later on say ZICA no.
At times, that it's a guarantee that you're going to work immediately when you get finished, you're going to work. You should also have to.
Yeah. Yeah, but otherwise that's the way it is.
Yes.
Yeah, otherwise that's the way it is, and this is what I wanted us to talk about. I don't know if you've actually benefited anything from our conversation. Okay, I was hoping we can actually solve a question as well, but I'm looking at time. I have another session. I have
Okay, I
another.
know.
Yeah.
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 So okay. And Tifat, I really appreciate for this or for your this guidance. It's very helpful.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
uh, but I'll, again, in fact, since I have all your details, I'll link up for something I told you about pastel.
Okay, sure,
I'll
no
link,
problem.
yeah, but also like for this management accounting, I want to involve you. Maybe I'll just following you up on WhatsApp or on YouTube. But for financial reporting, I mean, when I light in March, or maybe in March, I'll pay, so that I'll be having classes.
Okay, sure. I'm always available and actually do conduct classes just like this. Just at our classes. So our classes actually, do you know the price?
You've told me 300.
Yeah, our class is actually 300 quarter. We do financial accounting, financial reporting, cost accounting, management accounting, and we also do Pastel and QuickBooks and Excel. So the way we do them is we do them just like this. You'll be part of it. And then to solve, we use Excel. And then also I encourage students to actually practice. If you have a laptop, we can even conduct a session even at 22 where you are solving and we are guiding you whilst you are solving.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's actually very beneficial. And then also we can do the theory, we can explain the theory, we get to understand everything. My job will be to make it very simple. Like my job is to make it as simple as possible when giving it to you, not giving it to you the way the manual gives it to you.
Okay.
Because if I give it to you the way the manual gives it to you, then you might as well just study the manual. But they use jargon there. So it's slightly
Okay.
difficult to understand. And our objective is to understand, not to master whatever definition is in the manual, but to understand.
Understand.
Yeah.
That's in fact that's a concept. And the more for accounts, what I've observed that if you master, you forget. Better you understand, you apply.
Yeah. And then our session is actually recorded and they are posted on Google Drive. So let's say whenever you just decide to register, and then I can give you a link, you'll be able to access not only the sessions that you'll be a part of, but also the sessions that you were not a part of.
All right.
They actually a lot.
All right. But maybe the timing of the time of the lessons. That's why there's a problem because mostly I knock off 17. I go for classes 17 to 19, 20 somewhere there. Now I
Okay.
don't know how your program is with the
Okay.
lessons.
Okay, so the way the lessons are set up, although by then we'll probably have a new timetable because we do a monthly timetable every single time. But the timetable is mainly based on the current students that we have and also their schedules. Okay, but
Okay.
I don't know the exact timetable that we have at the time, but we have sessions during the weekend, and we always have sessions at 22 and also 17 to 19.
That's every day, during the week or in
Yeah,
the
during the week, our sessions will be, our actual sessions are 17 to 19:30.
19th.
And then we have a revision session where we solve something or a student solves something from 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 uh, 22, where I said you solve
Oh,
something and then you practice. That's 22 hours.
okay.
Yeah. And then, sorry?
Okay. No, I'll see how you going. I'm going to squeeze in. That's it. The problem with me is it's time. Because at
Uh,
that time you are saying 17 to 19, I'm on a class as well.
uh,
Then from there, I
yeah.
knock off
Which class is that?
in my part-time classes, evening classes.
For management accounting?
Yeah, for financial reporting and the auditing and the financial management.
Okay.
Yes. So, but I just wanted something different from what I'm having there. So at least, get this, understand to that. Or we understand where we didn't understand this part, you can understand this side. That's
Yeah.
what I just wanted.
Okay. All right. Otherwise, the day that you want to register, you can just holler at me. You can inbox me, and I'll be fully ready for you to actually register and join our classes. Although we actually have an ongoing class right now. Many of the students actually writing in March, so that's the class that I'll actually be joining now. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Uh,
But yes.
okay, I'll see next week. Maybe I might pay for the same management. That's the one I'm writing March. So I
Oh.
join you for the vision.
Okay. All right. Okay,
All right.
perfect.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you very much for being part of our session, and see you when you join our classes.
All right. So, which line should I use send to for me to for you to share the link for WhatsApp for YouTube?
I actually have two WhatsApp lines. It mainly depends. Which group did you see the link for this meeting in?
There's someone which is
Which?
Shan Solutions.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can send to that. That's my business line. And
Okay.
there's another group where I sent it, but I used my personal line. That's why I wasn't sure which one. But you can just send to that one. You can just send to the one, and I'll be able to share the link.
All right.
Okay. All right. Um, if you have any questions, you can ask.
So far nothing. But in the due course, I'll ask when I have something.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, sir.
Most
Otherwise,
welcome.
we'll end right here.
Okay. Thank you.